The authorities did not free the prisoners, and his death was confirmed hours later by his fellow activists. Mr. Sanjari was a vocal critic of Iran's leaders and an advocate for democracy. Earlier, I spoke to PEGAH BANIHASHEMI, an expert in international law and human rights at the University of Chicago Law School.
Sanjari was an influential figure in Iran's pro-democracy movement. He began activism as a student, blogging, and as a member of the Iranian Democratic Front. He was repeatedly arrested and imprisoned. During his life, he experienced solitary confinement and torture, but continued his work.
What's been the reaction to his death in Iran and across in the diaspora?
That is very important question right now, because if you look at the X or do you look at the social media, you can see the Kianoush Sanjari hashtag is kind of like a trend between the Iranian. And many people are talking about his tragic death. The tragic loss of Kianoush Sanjari should underscore the urgent need for the international community to address human rights violations in Iran. The people of Iran stood up in a massive protest during the Women's Rights Freedom movement in the aftermath of the Mahsa Amini death. But the international community did not take much action to support, I think. Also, we have other news in other hand that 6 other protesters in Iran, that they had some protests during the women movement, they received an execution court order just today as well. So, I mean, you know, the situation and the catastrophe just keep going in Iran.
So, Mahsa Amini, that you mentioned there, is the 22-year-old young woman who died in 2022 after she had been detained by Iran's morality police. So then tell me now, what does this death tell us about where Iran is at the moment?
Iran at the moment is kind of still is underpaid, but the protester of the people are different right now. Because after that protest that you mentioned, that after the death of the Mahsa Amini, many people, thousands of the people arrested by the regime, and few of them executed right away. But during these 2 years, the real's currency went down very badly. The dollar is going very up in Iran, and it's kind of this currency matters effect on the economic of Iran massively. And people are really facing to have a difficult economy and difficulty to eat, and many people are facing difficulties to have a good treatments for their health. And it's kind of, I can say, most of the people are so hopeless, and still lots of bad news every day happening in Iran.
So that the issue of economy, the high cost of living, the unhappiness or restlessness because of what's been happening in the recent years, do you foresee protests taking place following the death of Sanjari?
Unfortunately, if I want to be honest with you, no, I cannot see. They are very struggling for life. And I believe that when people are very struggling for eating, have enough money, they are not at that stage to have enough power or have enough open-minded to go and protest it. And they are scared. I'm sure they have enough faith, but I'm not sure if they have enough ability to do something right now.
PEGAH BANIHASHEMI, they are an expert in international law at the University of Chicago Law School.
This is Newsday on the BBC World Service with Vic and James. These are some of our top stories. There is unease in Washington over President-elect Trump's nomination of the controversial Congressman Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. The pick has taken some of the shine off Republican celebrations over maintaining control of the House. After 24 hours of heavy